13 years in the making, the Westgate Tunnel has officially opened, with the first cars taking a trip early this morning. Linking Melbourne's inner west to the city, the new road will speed up the journey and funnel truck traffic from local roads. But it's come at a huge cost and will continue to sting every time it's used.
1.5 million cubic metres of soil gone, nearly 7 kilometres of freeway in its place. Built by 6,000 hands, the new Westgate Tunnel takes drivers 8 stories underground between the city and the western suburbs.
It's how you save 20 minutes travel time, depending on where you want to go. It's how you reduce congestion, get families home sooner. It's also, too, how you build for the great future.
By 2:45 this morning, it was all systems go, with eager drivers ready to make their maiden voyage. Kicked off by former Premier Daniel Andrews, the project took 3 years longer than planned, and the $5.5 billion build swelled to more than 10.
Jacinta Allen might be popping the champagne today, but Victorian taxpayers are going to be left with the hangover. $4.7 billion of taxpayers' money has blown out on this project.
But with Labor keen to dig deep and show itself as a party that builds, the Premier dismissed criticism as the cost of doing business.
Well, we made a choice to invest today for the future of our city and state.
A single truck trip could cost up to $29, while an off-peak car journey starts at just over $4. Cars using the Westgate Tunnel network will be tolled at 3 different points, with the steepest charges the city exit during morning peak hour. But throughout January, it will be free to use the tunnel on weekends.
The pricing for the toll has been something that we've worked through with the state government during the development phase, and it's been structured about what we think is fair and reasonable.
The new tunnel also makes it easier for trucks to access the Port of Melbourne. Combined with several 24/7 truck-free zones in surrounding residential areas, the aim is to remove up to 9,000 trucks a day from local roads. A big win for a community group that spent decades advocating to reduce noise and air pollution.
We feel so elated to actually get to the point where we've got Australia's first no truck zones on residential streets. That's an incredible breakthrough.
The rubber finally hits the road on a controversial development, just as a government hopes to secure its future. Samantha Johnsher, ABC News, Melbourne.
Good evening. Melbourne's $10 billion Westgate Tunnel is finally open after a decade of scandal, blowouts and delays. The first cars were guided through just after midnight, meaning a long-awaited ban on trucks in inner west streets also came into force. Mark Santomartino has more.
Well before sunrise, the Westgate Tunnel opened. An eager fleet of 9 cars were first to drive through, albeit slowly and guided by trucks, before Transurban lifted the speed limit to a full 80 kilometres an hour.
The local member tells me she heard a whole heap of motorbikes go through at about 3 a.m. this morning.
Traffic has been steady since, but it was far from bumper to bumper as our cameras drove through. The new toll road will face its first real test during tomorrow's morning peak, when the price of a one-way car trip to the city jumps from $4.09 to more than $10.60.
$10 for a one-way trip? I don't understand how the government thinks that everyday Victorians in Melbourne's West are meant to access this tunnel.
Transurban is expected to pocket $37 billion in tolls in exchange for the $6 billion it chipped in to build the Westgate Tunnel. It's ended up well over budget and at least 3 years late, but it will get thousands of trucks off local roads in Melbourne's inner west.
It's exciting, it's fabulous and well overdue.
Trucks are now banned from parts of Francis Street, Somerville Road and Buckley Streets, as well as Moore Street, Hudson's and Blackshaw Roads, but not Williamstown Road.
They're going to get another 2,700 trucks a day by 2031. So it's going to turn into the next Francis Street. So that's not good enough.
Truck drivers caught trying to dodge tolls here in the new Westgate Tunnel or on the old Westgate Bridge by using one of those banned roads will be fined more than $600 per offence, but not right away. There'll be a grace period for drivers who haven't got the message.
I mean, this project's been 10 years in the making. You would think that the government would have industry ready from day one.
Once we start seeing repeat offenders, that's when the penalty regime will start being enforced.
You can try driving through the Westgate Tunnel for free on weekends in January, right after the tolls get more expensive on January 1.
Good evening. 10 years and more than $10 billion in the making. The Westgate Tunnel is open for paying drivers, but not everyone gives the project a perfect 10. Roadblocks came down on the mega project while most of us slept, with the first real test in tomorrow's morning peak.
Traffic trickling through Melbourne's new $10 billion project. A decade in the making, the first paying drivers enter the Westgate Tunnel.
The Westgate Tunnel is now open and it's going to be a massive game changer.
The twin tunnels opened while most Victorians were sleeping. The outbound tunnel after midnight, with a fleet of transurban cars travelling through at reduced speed. The inbound 2 hours later, all carefully monitored from the control centre.
Late in the night, early in the morning, the traffic has been reasonably light.
It might take a little bit of time as we get used to making the most of this massive new piece of infrastructure.
The tunnels are designed to provide an alternative to the Westgate Bridge, easing congestion and slashing travel time, but it comes at a cost.
$10 for Victorians to use this tunnel at peak hour?
$4.7 billion of taxpayers' money has blown out on this project.
First pitched as the Western distributor, Daniel Andrews took it to the election in 2014. Back then, the project had a $680 million price tag.
A sort of remedy, if you like, to many of the traffic congestion woes.
Costed again and re-announced, the price had risen to $5.5 billion. The state government sought federal funding but were knocked back. A year later, contracts were signed and a 2022 completion date locked in. The adjusted cost, $6.7 billion.
If we don't build this road, well, it's unthinkable.
The discovery of toxic chemicals stalled construction in 2019. Work soon restarted, but at a hefty cost to taxpayers, $2 billion to help with a $4 billion blowout bill. By 2021, the original completion date was scrapped, a long-standing legal standoff over the contaminated soil, and then a wall collapse in 2023, contributing to delays.
Yes, this was a really complex project and it did face some challenges on its journey.
Green and rainbow lights will illuminate at different points to help with traffic flow. The bigger tunnel test comes tomorrow during the morning and afternoon peak, and again in January when a trip is free on weekends.
Transurban's tunnel deal included a 10-year extension to its CityLink contract, set to deliver billions in additional revenue for the next 20 years. But the freebie doesn't extend to other toll roads.
This free toll period is associated with the Westgate Tunnel, and it's saying thank you for the disruption that they've had to endure while we delivered it.
The tunnel goes hand in hand with a new truck ban on 6 inner west streets. New cameras are there to enforce the ban, but there's a grace period.
Once we start seeing repeat offenders, that's when the penalty regime will start being enforced.
The freight industry has had 10 years to prepare for this. We expect, like everybody else running a red light camera or a speed camera, to get a fine for doing the wrong thing.